Hey guys, welcome back to the Digital Demons podcast. This is episode 8. Congratulations to everybody that's been listening. We are 2 months in to the podcast, and I'm glad to say welcome back for another week. Valentine's Day just passed on, what was it? The 14th, sorry. Yeah, it's been a few days. Formally, the date has passed, but people are still celebrating and stuff like that. So understood. It's the weekend. Valentine's Day was on like a Wednesday or something weird this week. So yeah, shout out to everybody that had a good Valentine's Day. Hopefully you guys did some loving on your significant others. And for the singles, I guess it's a Singles Awareness Day. We all know Valentine's Day is the super hallmark holiday of them all. And, people go crazy with the gift buying and everything like that, spending hundreds of millions of bajillions of dollars on kind of sometimes meaningless stuff. So, I'm not one to really go all out, and my girlfriend does a pretty good job of doing the same. She does a really good job every single day. So, I mean, I try to make her feel loved every day, not just on Valentine's Day or just like our important holidays and stuff like that. So that's really big for me. Just letting her know how much she's loved and appreciated every day. And that way, the Valentine's Day, it doesn't have to be such a huge conundrum of, oh shit, I got to get, 50 different things and do the whole house up and stuff like that. It's more of I guess an adult kind of, an adult kind of thing. So, that was a good one this year. We were kind of just keeping it low key, and not going too over the top. But I will say, full disclosure, places are fucking thieves when it comes to buying stuff for any holiday, really. But moreover, Valentine's Day, especially Valentine's Day. I went to the store, right, and I got a little Mylar balloon, like a little heart-shaped balloon. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. They know exactly what they're doing. These guys, any other day of the week, you'd go in there and get like a happy birthday balloon, few bucks here and there. They know the guys are coming in last minute. Some of the guys are coming in minutes before their wives or girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever's are getting home. These guys run that number up so significantly, okay? Full disclosure, like I said, I bought a Mylar balloon. It says Happy Valentine's Day on it. I'm at the counter checking out, get all my goods and stuff like that, and the guy goes to hand me my bags when I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. Get the receipt, and then pulls the balloon over across like the little check stand thing. I'm like, oh shit! I was like, that's my balloon too. Let me grab that, thinking it's not any big deal. I mean, it's not a big deal in the long run. It's not a big deal because I wanted it. I was gonna get it. I had every intention of getting it. I wasn't gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't get that. Just put that back. Not how I roll. So the guy scans it, and I'm like, all right, cool. Just throw the card into the little machine there. $25 fucking dollars, dude. And I don't really care. It's not, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna buy it either way. If it was a fucking $50 balloon, cool. Throw it on there. Let's roll. Give me my shit and let me get out of here. But $25, dude, for a balloon. I better be able to shoot this thing with a fucking gun in it, not pop for $25. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. That's like borderline robbery for shit like that. For a balloon to be $25 is outrageous, man. So that was my little gripe for that occasion. But I love my lady, so I get her what I gotta get her, and if I want to get it, I'm gonna get it. So fucking that's what it is. So yeah, man, this week's been kind of chaotic. We had another car incident. Jesus Christ, man, with the cars. So we're picking up a van on Monday, and we go, everything's all good. Had to do a little jump start on the battery, which I knew about already. And so we get there, get the van, jump start it, cool. And we get on the freeway. All of a sudden, the fucking van starts just poofing out white smoke because I'm driving behind her in my truck. And van starts smoking a little bit. And I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm thinking like, oh, this is oil or some shit like splashing up on the windshield. So she does exactly what I was thinking she should have done. Jumps off the freeway, and this is no more than maybe 4 miles from where we pick up the van to begin with. So we jump on the freeway. We're on the freeway for probably 15 seconds. She accelerates, boom, white little, smoke shit going on, and she jumps off the freeway. Thank God she didn't try to push it. Get off the freeway, the fucking radiator explodes on this thing, and it's just puking out radiator fluid and steam and all this shit. So, it just, I don't know, man. It's always something with fucking cars, dude. And then I was going to take a luxury ride on the old Harley Davidson this weekend and go to start it, put it on the trickle charger, for the night before, get home, put it on the trickle charger. Cool, Saturday, we'll take it out, take it for a spin, get the internals moving, everything nice and lubed up, and battery's completely fucked. So that's gonna be another thing to add to my list of to-dos, is now to pull the battery on the Harley and either go and get a new one or have this one charged. So it just fucking stacks up, man. I do have to do a little test run on my Bug, and I'm totally crossing everything that I can possibly cross at this point, to make sure that there's no kind of mysterious shit going on with that car. The battery will be okay. The internals will be fine, because it's not exactly cruising season when it's fucking 20 degrees out. I mean, those cars love the cold weather. Don't get me wrong. They're air-cooled cars. So they do like that cold weather. But when it's raining out, and like I don't have windshield wipers on that car, because it's technically like a show car. So I don't really care in that aspect. So I don't run windshield wipers. Is it illegal? Yeah. But do I give a fuck? No. So I don't run windshield wipers, and I'm not going to go cruise my car in inclement weather anyways. That's just asking for a bad time. And plus the roads out here are total dog shit. So, we're going to fire that thing up, I think, this next coming weekend, and maybe we'll go on a little cruise if the weather's good, and, get the little bugs out of that thing, and, fix shit as it's needed. So that's that. The week has been rather productive. So had a good work week. All the homies were funny at work, and just love hanging out with those guys. But yeah, man, let's jump into the shit that's been going on this week, y'all. As you know, Super Bowl was last Sunday. The 49ers completely fucked themselves out of that game with the mishandling of that return, and just not executing, dude. The dude missed the fucking field goal, and they just completely shit the bed. So I was there for the commercials. They had a really good, actually, a Volkswagen commercial that had featured the bugs and stuff like that. So I really got a kick out of that one. But I noticed that Joe Biden had himself a little Super Bowl time commercial, and his message was a little more lackluster than anything. As you know, like I said, he didn't do the interview normally that a president would do. You've seen him for the past few years, whatever. They normally do like a little half-hour interview, and they reflect on this and the state of that. But, he's not capable of doing that. So they had him give his message, and his message was that there's shrinkflation. Okay, so this is a thing that he's been bringing up, and apparently it's a very pressing issue in this country. I mean, we have people getting fucking murdered, and people are homeless, and the vets don't have the care that they need, which we all know are kind of more on a grandiose scale of issues within our country. So his message was that snacks need to have more food instead of air in the bags. He also commented on the size of drink bottles being smaller, and that the volume of the drinks aren't as big. Well, no shit. So he wants to have chip bags have more chips in them. He wants to have ice creams have more ice cream in the containers, because he's an ice cream lover. We all know that. After he shits himself and his diaper is changed, they go grab him a fucking ice cream cone or a cup of ice cream just so, he can be happy. And, he's doing all this shit, and I'm looking at him just as disgusted as I always do. And he has this lapel pin, and I don't know if anybody else caught this, but it was on his left breast of his pocket, or his jacket or whatever, and it was like a mesh between the Ukrainian flag and the American flag, and that was the most off-putting shit. When I saw that, I was like, look at this fucking asshole. Okay, he's addressing the people that are on, watching this spectacle that is the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, it's viewed worldwide. but it takes place in the United States. Obviously, we all know that. And he has this fucking lapel pin on that's not singularly an American flag. It has the fucking Ukrainian flag and the United States of America flag meshed together. And I almost fucking threw up in my mouth when I seen that. I was like, this dude is such a fucking idiot. Cuck deluxe, okay? He's just fucking all over the place all the time. And then he comes on TV during this time of the day with his stupid little snack message because there's nothing else that's more important to him apparently, and he has this fucking trash shit all over his chest. Like how is that perceived? Are you American? Or what the fuck is going on here? Clearly, he's got his fucking priorities fucked up, and that just really pissed me off when I seen that. I was just like, you're a fucking loser, dude, and I cannot wait to see what happens during election time. That's all I'm going to say with that. But, it's speaking of election time, we have a lot of shit we're going to be covering, I guess, in these next months leading up to this. So, don't be surprised if you hear a bunch of shit from me regarding politics and stuff like that, because I do follow it pretty heavily. And a lot of people ask me a lot, what's going on with this? Have you heard about that? And it just is what it is, man. Like I said, this is my show, so I'm going to rap on whatever I want to rap on. I'm going to get at whoever I want to get at, and my opinions are my opinions. And I'm not inviting everybody to like this show. Of course, I want everybody to like it. I want everybody to feel included. And, you have your opinions, send them over. We'll go about it. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold back. So I just want everybody to be 100% clear on that. So that way I'm not working up the wrong kind of people here, and they're like, oh, I thought you were going to talk about this. And it is what it is, man. Like, I go through the week, and this is the kind of shit that I see. I notice it, and I say it week after week, bringing it to you right as it happens. So when I see something, taking note of it and just kind of working my way through the week. And at the end of the week, this is the finished product. So more on all that stuff to come. But another thing I was looking at was, for those not familiar with George Soros, he's like an uber progressive being. Okay, he's a billionaire. And for those that do know who he is, I'm sure you guys have heard about it. I don't know if you have or not, but he's trying to bail out the radio company Audacity. And this company owns more than 220 radio stations across the United States, including the one in LA, the famous K-Rock station. So his Soros Fund Management company has bought up more than $400 million of these different companies, and he's basically taken away all their debt. I think there was like a few $1 million or whatever it was away from like bankruptcy, and he comes in, he bails this company out. So these guys have all these radio stations, and we can already see that he's going to be the highest shareholder anyways. And all he's going to do is he's a master puppet string puller. You know what I'm saying? He's the puppet master that is in a lot of the background of political movements and shit that happens in the street whether it comes to, people having their protests and all this shit. And he's kind of just flown under the radar. Like, a lot of people know who he is, but for the masses that aren't really aware, especially some of the people that listen to this podcast, I know I kind of bring stuff up and they're like, oh shit, I didn't know about that. That's crazy. Whatever. I'm glad I'm bringing you guys this stuff, because this guy right here has a plan to buy up all these radio stations. And what he's going to do is he's going to have a massive influence on voters this election cycle, this election year, whatever you want to call it. And it's crazy because there are right of center kind of radio stations on there. And what's going to happen to those guys when they go against what his beliefs are? He's just probably going to fucking X those guys out. And he's going to be able to deliver all this like anti-conservative type of shit to kind of sway people, in their decision to vote. And that's fucking crazy that this guy is able to do that. I mean, I get it. We live in the United States of America, dude, the greatest country in the world. And, he's being able to to go and do this stuff is, part of the American dream, I guess. You just get a shitload of money. And for those of them that can actually do this kind of shit, they do it. And in this case, the guy's doing it. I don't really have a, too big of an issue. It's just the platform that he runs and the shit that he does behind the scenes is kind of sketchy. So my whole thing is, how long is it going to take before he takes out all these radio stations that he doesn't agree with because of their voice? And they have bigger, platforms than I do and bigger audiences than I do, obviously, because they're broadcasting to hundreds of thousands of people and stuff. And, it's a scary kind of thing, especially when you have somebody that's as wealthy as that doing these kinds of shits. It's just kind of fucked up, man. I don't know. Speaking of fucked up, though, whack ass Travis Kelce. Let's get on him for a second. Why is it that this guy has been in the news, in the media, in the sports world for a while, and it all has to pertain to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Everything, even the pregame show from the Super Bowl, was all about fucking Travis Kelce and the Chiefs and Taylor Swift. You didn't hear hardly anything about the 49ers. I mean, did they fuck up in the game? Yeah, they definitely did. Did they lose the game on their own? Yeah, they kind of did. So, I mean, not really anything I have to say game-wise. There wasn't any, significant missed calls or anything like that, but I did do a count on the old Taylor Swift cam, and I believe it was 12 times. I said it was going to be 40. That was a gross overestimation. 12 times they panned to her and gave her a little shot during the game, and she's sitting there swinging her arms around with fucking Cabbage Patch ass looking Ice Spice. Dude, she is scary looking. And I know there's people out there that just adore her, but they really adore her ass cheeks and not so much her herself. She has zero talent when it comes to singing. You know what I mean? She's just another one of those chicks, just like I was talking about Suki Hana and Sexy Red, just talking about her butt cheeks all the time and this and that. No real flair, no real, talent when it comes to producing music. So anyways, you have Travis Kelce. They win the Super Bowl, and he gets up on stage with the trophy, and the guy's interviewing him and stuff like that, and he just starts belting out the song Viva Las Vegas. He's singing this little bit of a line, which I saw, and I was kind of like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking nightmare. And but what I was reading was him just singing those few little lines of Viva Las Vegas triggered a royalties payment to be made through BMI because it constituted an ephemeral use. And for those that don't know what that is, it's basically when somebody gets on a televised program that's broadcasted on TV or used in movies or whatever, and there's a similar type of song being played that's comparable to the original, that triggers an ephemeral use. I guess, I don't know if it's a clause or whatever it is, I forget. And those people that wrote the song actually get paid royalties for the use of their song in a broadcast. So BMI, which is Broadcast Music Inc., they will then issue the allotted time that it was done on TV and the date and everything like that. They're pretty descriptive in their royalties payments and stuff like that, and the printouts that you get. I've been a member of BMI for a long time, and still get royalties and stuff like that through music. And yeah, so he goes and belts out this little Viva Las Vegas thing, and then he turns around and the guy's like, "Oh, is it? They have to fight for their right, Travis, right?" The guy that's interviewing him on ABC like an idiot. He's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta fight for your right to party," and everybody's like, "Yeah, go Chiefs!" And I was just like, oh, "Fuck, this guy is an idiot, dude." So I don't know what his deal is with singing and just having these anthems in the back of his head that are supposed to be these huge moments for these Chiefs fans or whoever it is that's listening to him, and he just sounds like a dickhead. So they win the Super Bowl. and they're off to do their victory parade, Kansas City, right? They're doing their thing. They're on the bus getting fucked up. And I've seen plenty of victory parades, dude. I'm a Patriots fan. We had like fucking 800 years worth of victory parades, and I watched all of them. But none of them were really like over the top. You'd have guys drinking, guys would be buzzing, and a little on the saucy side. This dude took all that to another level. Like him and his teammates were fucking wrecked on this bus, dude. You had Willie Gay Jr. laying on the fucking street with a Hennessy bottle, half naked with his fucking shoes off and shit, and jumping on cars and shit like that. And it was just kind of like, where are you guys at right now? Like, you guys are saucy. And then he gets on the microphone once again, pulls his fucking phone out, dude, and finds the lyrics to fucking Garth Brooks's Friends in Low Places. He starts singing this song first, and then he pulls his phone out and he has the lyrics like pulled up, and he's just butchering this song. And everybody's like trying to hold him up, and Patrick Mahomes grabs the microphone from him. He's like, I got friends in low places. And everybody's like, okay, you're done. Like, see you later. And he just fucking disappears off into the bus with all his teammates. And I'm just like, this is what Taylor Swift has to look at, like, when he gets hammered like that. Like, I can't fucking stand drunk people in general, and especially the ones that just get too over the top. Like, I get it. You want to party, have fun, that's fine. But the people that get over the top and just start doing stupid ass shit, those are the ones that really bug me. He bugs me already just as a person. He's a loudmouth, and just, I don't know, man. He's just talking shit all over the place. And then he's replacing lyrics with the 49ers, this and that. And I don't know. It was just super untasteful. And, they're going to go for their third ring next year, 3 in a row. And I really fucking hope that it doesn't happen. Just please, God, somebody fucking knock these guys out. And it was just such a bad take, man. I felt bad for Taylor Swift a little bit, because she's involved with that guy, and that's the kind of shit that he does. And just, I don't know, it just gave me the creeps, man. And we all know what happened after the parade. Obviously, they had a fucking chaotic shooting that happened. 18 or not 18, there was like 20 something people were shot. One lady ended up dying in surgery later on, who was like a local DJ around the Kansas City area, Lisa Lopez Galvan. And it's just kind of fucked, man. Like, the guys that were responsible for this shit were kids. They weren't even adults. They said they're like 16 or 17 or something like that. And since they're juveniles, they weren't really given much details out of what happened and, potential motive. But now they're saying like, oh, it was a verbal altercation or dispute or whatever. Yeah, it was just a bad fucking scene, man. They released all the kids, thankfully, out of the hospitals and stuff like that. They discharged all the kids that were hurt. And, I think it's just going to be one of those things that gets swept under the rug. It's kind of, another one of those incidents, and they're not really going to pay many television minutes dedicated to this, because it's just, it's another shooting. But they're going out of their way to make sure that it doesn't happen in at least Kansas City. They're kind of doing the whole thing like California is doing right now. The mayor out there, Quentin Lucas, he's calling for mandating universal background checks, and we all know it's not going to do anything. It's not going to help at all. For one, the people that are lawfully purchasing guns and using them aren't the ones that are committing the crimes to begin with. It's a very small percentage of people that actually are law-abiding, that do some wild shit. The guys that are out there buying shit out of trunks and fucking alleyways and stuff like that, those are the guys that are not giving a fuck. Do they have a background check? Fuck no, they don't have a background check. Are they ever going to get one? Are they going to be like, hey, I just wanted to turn this gun into the police station because it is illegal. It doesn't have a serial number on it. And so, we did some bad shit for, a while with this gun. So we just wanted to, hand it over to you guys, and, we'll call it good from there. I don't think so, dude. Never going to fucking happen. Not in 100 years, and it's crazy because now that this sets the tone for more of their push on the whole ban on assault style rifles, AR platforms, and stuff like that, high capacity magazines, and they're really going to make a push on this now because of what happened in Kansas City, and also what happened at Joel Osteen's church. I don't know, was it a guy, girl, walked in there with an AR style rifle that had Free Palestine on it and went to go shoot up the place, and two off duty officers fucking put some hot ones in her shit and killed her. Good on them. It's these kind of things that are happening now that are setting the tone for them to prove their point of, oh, this is why we need to do this. This is why this needs to happen. And we know in California it's always been fucked like that. It's been out of control as far as gun violence in general. Same thing with Chicago. Chicago's been a pile of shit for the longest time, but we have thousands of people being murdered out there and nothing's come of it. So really, what does doing universal background checks and stuff like that get us besides more rules for places that don't necessarily need them? California now, there's a new law enacted. It's preventing people from doing multiple background checks at once. Instead, it just has people waiting 30 days per background check per firearm. And they're, they call it the 1 per 30. So you used to be able to but do background checks on a few different types of firearms at once. You wait your 30 days and then you can purchase each one, at different times. Whatever, that was cool. But they're amping it up now, and they're putting that in place. As well as in July, they're going to be adding an 11% excise tax on all the guns, gun parts, and ammunition sold in the state. And it's also being called a sin tax. So basically, the tax collected from that in California is going to be going to like gun violence prevention, school safety programs and stuff like that. And then it's going to be geared towards like the victims of gun violence. So I think them just getting the extra 11%, they think they're going to be drawing down the amount of purchases when they're just going to be generating more money for useless fucking bullshit. We all know that they're not going to be putting protection in the places that they claim they need protection, like schools and churches and stuff like that, because people who get afraid of the police and stuff like that, they're going to be like, oh, we got police at our school. That's so scary. And they don't want to hurt those people's feelings. So those places are going to be left wide open. They're going to have some fucking security guard that does another part-time job at a fucking skate shop or something like that in town, go and try to run this school. And what's going to happen with that is more of the same shit. It's not going to ever change. So this shit that's going in California right now is going to be just another stupid law that everybody else that lawfully abides by the gun laws and stuff here already, they have to pay more. And these fuckers that are out here killing people and doing these crazy crimes and stuff like that, what's it affect them? They're going to do what they're going to do regardless. Here we go with more of the bullshit in California. So if you're not aware and you're trying to buy guns, just keep that in the back of your little noggin there that in July, we're going to have another 11% put on our purchases across the state. Anything to generate that moolah, man, for those guns. And then you guys, I'm sure you've heard by now, I guess some of us have, this actually happened in November of 2023, Okaloosa, Florida. They had a deputy that thought he was hearing gunfire coming from the inside of his SUV, and you can watch the video of it. And it was actually an acorn that fell from a tree. The whole thing got set up like this. So they were called on a domestic call, and the lady that called was saying that her boyfriend was like threatening her through text messages and stuff like that, and sent her pictures of what she thought was a gun with a silencer on it. So the police come, they get the guy, they detain him, or I don't think they formally arrested him at that point, but they detained him in the car, and they close the door up, and they're doing the investigation with the chick at the house or the apartment, condo, whatever. And so the guy's walking back towards his SUV, and this acorn falls from the tree and just tap, hits the top of the car. So this guy, literally in the body cam footage, dives forward towards the back of the car, does like these body rolls and shit, unholsters his gun, and just fucking lays waste to this car. And meanwhile, this guy is inside the car, handcuffed, and he's just, probably like, holy fuck, what the hell's going on? So he's probably ducking and dodging bullets and shit like that. And then the officer's partner comes from the front, and she's on like the driver's side, like quarter panel kind of thing across the street a little bit. And she just starts dumping, just bang, 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 bang into this car. Fucking windows are shattering and everything like that. And then it comes, to light that the guy was like, "Oh, I thought it was him shooting at me from the inside of the car." Dude, with what? With what? Where is he gonna get? You guys have patted him down and done a thorough search because there's all that shit on the body cam footage. You set him in the car, and then all of a sudden you're diving across the fucking street doing body rolls, and you're just letting off these fucking rounds at this SUV. And I'm with the whole law enforcement thing. I'm with all that shit. Was this reckless? Fuck yeah, it was. Because number one, I guess I could say it like this: if it was a situation where he was being actually shot at, it would have proved useful for him to do that. It wouldn't have been out of line or anything like that. It wouldn't have been reckless or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is, this guy heard something, perceived it as something else, and could have fucking killed somebody for virtually nothing. And the crazy part about this is, when he's shooting at the car and his partner's shooting, they're in like, there's like a crossfire like kind of thing going on. Like they could have been fucking shooting at each other. So he yells, shots fired, and just starts getting busy with that shit. And this guy, the officer that initiated all the gunfire, attended a U.S. military academy. And he was actually a special forces officer for 10 years. And he did 2 rotations in Afghanistan, but actually never saw like any combat. So, they started blasting at each other, and they're in these crossfire positions. Neither one of them had any cover. The guy's laying on the ground, just shooting, and the other officer's standing in the middle of the street shooting at the car that he's shooting at. So luckily, neither one of them got shot. Luckily, the guy inside the car didn't get hit. And, it's just fucking nuts, dude. Like, you watch the video and you can kind of hear it, but the other officer said that it sounded like the guy kicked the window out, which I was kind of like, that's a pretty loud noise. Like, where did this acorn fall from? The fucking edge of the earth? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure, man. It's just crazy to think like that guy got that scared and he said, "Oh, I lost my legs. I couldn't feel my legs. My legs went numb. I got shot." He didn't even get shot. He went to the fucking hospital in the ambulance, and they were like, "Dude, you didn't get shot." And he's like, "Well, I thought I got shot. I'd never been shot before, so I didn't know what it felt like. I just lost my legs." So this justifies you shooting your fucking car, dude? I mean, think about it. It's crazy. So this guy ended up getting, a stern talking to. They did a whole investigation. They showed him in stills and video footage, like, "Hey, fuckhead, this acorn hit the top of your car and you almost fucking turned this dude into Swiss cheese that was inside. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?" kind of thing. He ended up resigning in December of last year. And the other officer, also, they did an investigation into the both of them. And neither one of them had any charges brought upon them. And they were both cleared, obviously, of any wrongdoing. And yeah, man, I don't know. If you're that skittish, I don't think the line of police work is for you. I admire that you're in the military and stuff like that. Totally have respect for all the military friends and family like that I have. And there's a ton of them. But, these guys that are real skittish on shit like that should probably not have that kind of a job, because it could do some damage. It could do some real fucking damage. Yeah, that's it for that, man. Like, I was browsing around some more, and yeah, the shit that's going on in Russia right now, crazy, dude. They're just fucking mopping these people up and arresting them for protesting, and even going to memorial sites for the opposition. The guy that was leading the opposition over there was kind of like a foe or whatever you call it of Vladimir Putin. This dude, Alexei Navalny, he mysteriously died while in a prison over there. And he was kind of just advocating for reforms against the corruption in Russia and stuff like that. Definitely was a target of Vladimir Putin's for sure. And this dude had been getting, or been trying to at least, for like over a decade to just kind of expose like how the Russian politics and businesses and stuff like that work more of like a mafia style as opposed to like their own like branches and shit like that, how they do like these crazy sneaky business deals. And they tried to fucking kill him like a couple times through poisoning and stuff like that. And he survived. So this guy, he was at the Polar Wolf Arctic prison, and it's like 1,200 miles outside of the capital over there. And so, he goes for a walk and gets back to his jail cell or whatever he goes to, and claims that he doesn't feel well. And, boom, fucking dies. And so they found out just a couple days before he died, they had Russian spies had went to the prison where he was being held at. The FSB, I guess it's like sort of like Russia's intelligence service or whatever, had visited him like a couple days prior to that. And he was being locked up. He'd been locked up on a 30-year sentence, so he still had quite a ways to go. And supposedly while this FSB personnel was there, they were disconnecting like security cameras and like all the listening devices and shit like that. And he goes out for a walk and then ends up fucking dying mysteriously. And they are refusing to give his body back to his family. They don't want to give it back. And the family's like claiming that they're covering up like the traces of murder and stuff like that. And it's a pretty fucked up thing, but you got to have some balls. Like this dude could have just chilled in exile, but he chose to go back to Russia and they nabbed his ass. So, I mean, not a really smart guy, I don't think. Like, if you could have just chilled outside the country and continued talking shit, kind of like Julian Assange did, or fucking Edward Snowden, shit like that, like he could have just been posted up. But he chose to go back into Russia. They arrested him, and, here we are. And you have people from the West, like all the Western allies of, especially of the United States, because what does Biden do? He gets on the fucking stand and automatically just points out Russia and Putin as being culpable and, fully responsible of this. And most likely they are. But at the same time, shut the fuck up, dude. You don't know any facts. It's not factual that this guy did this to this other guy. Is there probably a 98% chance that he did? Yeah, but you don't know that totally. So he's going out there calling, Putin and his thugs and this and that. And it's pretty bold of him to do, considering that Russia is now like really fucking up people in Ukraine. And Ukraine is pretty much out of weapons for what it's worth. They don't have any artillery because we aren't spoon feeding them our artillery. I think this is a pretty critical point of blame here to be put on Putin right now. And I'm not sympathizing with Putin or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. But for Biden to be fucking talking shit, I think he should probably fucking slow his roll, dude, because there's that whole speculation that Russia is trying to put nuclear weapons in space and do all this crazy ass shit. And that's really nothing to be fucked with. You know what I mean? Especially if they got way bigger, bombs than we do in general. That's not really the path you want to go down. And you got a long time to go before the election actually happens. Plus, you have to get into the beginning of the following year for the next administration or the same one. Or, like I said, if we get into Barack Obama's fourth term, whatever ends up happening, or Gavin Newsom is our new president, whatever, still the ways to go before any of that even happens. So I would pretty much just kind of pump the brakes if I was them and just fucking chill. And I think it's their way of getting this new fucking, what is it, $95.3 billion, Russia or Ukrainian aid going over there. They really want that really bad, so that way they can get them some help over there, and hopefully they don't get fucking beaten into the ground, because Russia's doing work over there, and it's no laughing matter. Yeah, man. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah. This is a good one. In case you guys don't know, Nkechi Diallo doesn't really ring a bell, does it? I didn't think it did. Some of you guys might know Rachel DeLiesel. No? Okay, well, let me just fill you in. Nkechi Diallo is Rachel DeLiesel. She was, this is a fucking crazy little situation here. She was the Spokane, Washington head of the NAACP back in 2015. She was exposed in that same year for pretending to be black. And they were just fucking furious with this lady because she had been the head of the NAACP chapter in Spokane for a long time. She had her hair styled and stuff like that, and had, was doing like certain mannerisms and, completely like embracing her ethnicity. And it was a fucking complete sham. It was found out that she was born to white parents, and they were just kind of like, what the fuck? So they kind of just ignited that whole concept at that point of race faking. And she was at the completely fucking core of this whole thing. And she kind of just fooled everybody for a long time. And so she ended up getting the boot. And then the following year, she changed her name to Nkechi Diallo. And for whatever reason, I don't know. But it's just that's a stupid name. And in 2017, she actually wrote a memoir called In Full Color, Finding My Place in a Black and White World. Okay, so this is like her going through like her being black and this and that, and embracing her culture and stuff like this. And this is, I don't know, like I don't know if it was like her version of saying I'm sorry or how the whole book goes, but she apparently made a lot of fucking money off of this, and she was actually charged with welfare fraud and a couple other things in 2019, and saying that she didn't pay back or actually didn't report like tens of thousands of dollars of revenue for that book. And so they hit her ass with this charge, and she took a plea deal and stuff like that. And the whole time she was doing this whole like fraudulent shit, she was getting over $8,000 a month in food and childcare assistance from the state, which is nuts, dude. So she took a plea deal and then just basically went hush hush for a while. And then she got a job recently teaching at an elementary school in Arizona. So this is kind of where, she comes back out of the woodwork. And her whole thing for being in the news now is because she was fired again, but this time it was because she has an OnlyFans account. And apparently she'd been posting on that account since 2021. It's now 24. And, people had started posting stuff online just in general about her being, scantily clad, and she's in fucking lingerie and full nude stuff and this and that. And if you look her up, dude, she's nasty looking. So not really something that would pique a lot of people's interest. I mean, you do what you do, you're into what you're into. But yeah, she was doing the whole subscription thing for $9.99 a month and all this other shit. And I just don't get what it is with these people that do this type of shit. Like I said the last time, you do your OnlyFans shit, cool, right on, good on you, do your thing. But the ones that are in like a teaching environment or have like a lot of shit to do with children, they seem to be the ones that have these weird like accounts going on, and they do all this deviant shit, but they hold these positions like as teachers or substitute teachers or whatever. And I get it, teachers don't really make that much money. They don't. They should be making a hell of a lot more money, in my opinion, because look at the fucking kids that are being brought up these days. Majority of them are pieces of shit. They have shithead parents. A lot of the times their parents aren't around, and they just don't give a fuck. So these kids act like pricks to the teachers. And there's ones out there that are definitely pieces of shit themselves, teacher-wise. But then you have the ones that really do care, and those are the ones, in turn, getting fucked over. And shit like this puts a bad name on the teaching community. Like, I have teachers still, you know, that if I would have run into, I would have no problem being like, hey, how's it going? And actually having a conversation with. It's shit like this that makes me pissed off, because they have this position of power and authority over these kids, and yet they're doing all this crazy sexual shit like behind closed doors. And what you do outside of work is what you do outside of work. But it just makes me feel a little bit uneasy that there's all these overly sexualized teachers being around the kids. Like, it's like they have a fucking fantasy or something of being like with these kids or whatever. If they're like sexually driven by these kids or something. I don't know, man. But this weirdo bitch, she's in trouble now. She lost her job, obviously, and I don't know, man. People that hang around kids need to fucking check themselves, because nobody wants their kids exposed to that kind of shit in any form, at least not until they're a lot older. You know, we discovered shit during high school and stuff like that. Not gonna lie, everybody did. Like, I'm like the only one, but you know, it definitely wasn't present at all in an elementary school form or setting at all. Like, our teachers were fucking definitely not doing anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just kind of off-putting, gross, and unnecessary. And speaking of unnecessary, very much unnecessary, let me just get this out here. Google, anybody that fucks with Google or knows anybody that works in Google, fucking, you guys suck, dude. Google sucks. Okay, so this whole story that I'm about to get into, was just made kind of privy to this today, actually. And this guy, Eric Morrison, okay? Eric Morrison, EricMorrison. Okay, this guy works for Google and was caught on video kicking a lady's dog in New York for no fucking reason. Okay, this lady is cool, you know, cooling, just walking her little dog, little 5-pound, it was a rescue Chihuahua, and the dog's name was Knox. So she's over there just minding her own business. The guy's, you know, aggressively walking, doing whatever he's doing, talking on his phone or whatever. And she just told him, hey, watch the dog, like, just in passing. And this fucking asshole turns around and kicks the fucking dog as hard as he can. Fuck this guy. Number one, double fuck this guy. What is your problem, dude? Like, how the fuck are you going to kick any kind of animal, let alone a small little Chihuahua like that? Like, and this lady just said, hey, just be careful. Like, don't run into my dog. I don't think it was an aggressive kind of thing. She just told you, hey, fucking watch where you're going. Not my fault that you had a shit day today, but don't fucking kick my dog. Like, this lady went after this guy, chased him down, has a recorded video, and it's on Instagram. So if you look up like hashtag Fire Eric Morrison on Instagram, all this shit will pop up. This lady has like a video of her talking to him and stuff like that. And she says that she filed a police report and was told that Knox, which is her Chihuahua, was property and they couldn't do anything about it. And anyways, in New York, it's only a misdemeanor. Like, why the fuck is that a misdemeanor, dude? You kick a helpless animal. You should have your fucking legs sawed off with a goddamn knife from the kitchen drawer, dude. Like, you're a fucking piece of shit. I can fucking guarantee you right now that if you were to try to kick my dog, he would rip your fucking leg off and I would walk him back to my house with that shit dangling out of his mouth. Right? Your shitty ass dress shoes or whatever would be still attached to your foot and my dog would have a brand new chew toy. Guarantee that. Like, I would never think to kick an animal and do anything like crazy malicious like that to an animal, especially an animal of that size. So the thing is now, this guy still has a job this guy Eric Morrison still has a job at Google. And there's like all these people that are making these crazy comments all over the Google posts and anything that has to do with this, like any Google technology on Instagram and everywhere. And they're asking like, hey, what are you doing about Eric? You guys going to let Eric Morrison still work here and da-da-da-da-da? And it's hilarious to see that this many people, it's not even funny. I think it's fucking awesome, actually, that this many people are bringing it to the forefront and letting Google know, hey, like, you have some fucking shitty-ass personnel working for you guys. This guy, he's got to get the fuck out of here because, he's a shithead. And that was my fucking Google thing going off in the background. What a fucking joke. So anyways, yeah, you guys probably heard that. They got to get rid of this fucking guy because he's clearly an animal abuser and completely worthless to the world. So, yeah, go look up that hashtag Fire Eric Morrison, and you'll see all the whole, you'll see the whole background story to what I'm talking about right now. And you'll be filled plenty in on just how much of a piece of shit this guy really is. Just one of those things. So lastly, to wrap up this episode, our man Donald Trump. Okay, he hits Philadelphia SneakerCon. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but he gets into SneakerCon and drops the fucking never surrender high tops, dude. These are they're high tops, right? They're gold and they have a United States flag on them and stuff like that. They're crazy outlandish looking shoes. And he goes up, drops these, and there's like two other versions that aren't, that same colorway or whatever. And they only made 1,000 pairs. So he gets these and signs them and stuff like that and brings them to SneakerCon and drops them, at the show, basically, which is totally fucking awesome. So they made 1,000 pairs of them, and they were selling for $399. So they sold out before this morning on the website. And the crazy thing is, it's not even like a part of his organization. It's they're actually made by a company called 45 Footwear LLC. So it's another company that made these, and he just comes in, says, check these out, boom, drop some fucking high top sneakers, dude, to go along with your MAGA hats if you got one. Have a full fucking Donald Trump outfit. He's got like colognes and all kinds of shit that are coming out and fucking everything, man. This guy's got merch out the yin yang. So, he's got to stack that bread up, man. He just got hit with that, what was it, like $350 million fucking civil fraud case in fucking New York. The demented ass, Engeron or however you say that fucking judge's name, decided to make his outlandish fucking ruling about having fraudulent bank transactions and this and that. So they're just trying to bankrupt the dude, and it ain't gonna fucking happen. So he got hit with this $350 million decision in this case, and he's been banned from running businesses for 3 years in New York City, or New York in general, just the state. So not to be shook though. I mean, he's got his whole team, his daughter and his sons and stuff like that. They'll do plenty fine. Not really sweating it. It's $350 million. The dude's a billionaire. So yeah, it's just crazy. More crazy ass shit to go along with our fucking clown world that we live in. But yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty much it for this episode. Getting after it really, really late. It's already fucking past 10 right now. So we're gonna call this one. Actually, shit, it just hit 11. Yeah, we're definitely calling this one. Just wanted to make sure, like I said, holding myself accountable to do these episodes every weekend. Trying to get them done every weekend, not during the week. Maybe sometimes they might happen during the week. Just depends on kind of what my schedule is like and what life is throwing at me at that particular moment. So yeah, we're gonna call it quits here. So I just want to say, like I say every week, thank you to everybody that's tuning in, for sharing the podcast, for giving good feedback, any kind of thoughts and suggestions that you guys are throwing my way. It's all been really helpful. I appreciate every little bit of it. You can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming services, whatever you listen to. There's actually been a couple new ones that popped up, so I noticed people are playing them on different platforms, which is fucking awesome, I think. So yeah, just let's just really kick those numbers up, man, and get this shit really really going. I'd appreciate it. But you guys can find me on Instagram If you're new to the podcast and you're not following me yet, Instagram is digital_demons_podcast. You can actually listen to the episodes in their entirety also on YouTube. And you can find me on there at Digital Demons Podcast. Also, I'm on X. We discussed this last week. X. Okay? We're not saying Twitter anymore. We're doing X. So it's Digital Demons Pod, and it's DGITLDMNSPOD, Digital Demons Pod on X. So go find me on there, add me. I need to get more active on there, or you guys can send me an email, whatever you guys want, topic submissions, questions, whatever you guys want. Like I said, that is Digital Demons Podcast at gmail.com. And once again, can't say thank you guys enough for listening to the show. I really do appreciate it. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into getting these shows done and out and edited and to you guys as soon as I can. So, yeah, thanks to everybody once again for listening and sharing the podcast with everybody. It means a ton to me. Let's go rock these numbers up a little bit and share it with some more of the world, all right? Take care, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.